good? Dang, y'all see that? Quality tough. It's a beautiful morning out here. Super chill. A man has to find God. Truly. When you ain't got no one else, whenever it's just you, and not everyone goes through this. Maybe a man doesn't, But my philosophy is you're either gonna find him or he gonna find you. One way or another. He's never too far from you. You should never be too astray from him. He just wants to be somewhere near in your life. And whenever he sees that things are going wrong, or he's testing you, or whatever the case may be, you're gonna have to look to someone, and he's gonna want you to look towards him. All right, Dave Ramsey had everything at 26, had $1 million, I think $1 million, couple $1 million portfolio, and then he lost everything with his wife. Everything. Went bankrupt, got sued multiple times, and he says he found God on the way up, but he got to know him on the way down. And so that's the case. I really believe that's always the case, and it may be a coincidence or not, but I just find it super suspicious whenever I do pray, whenever it may be for other people or for myself, things happen, or I see a lot of signs of just what I pray and it coming true or into fruition. And I'm honestly, I've low-key always been like the superstitious type, but whenever there's just too much signs of whatever it may be happening, it just can't, it's just too good to be true, So a man has to find God, man. And you may not be spiritual, but I just feel like even just believing in something, whatever it may be, just keeps humans just humble in a way, because humans are capable of terrible, horrible things, right? And a lot of people may argue with a lot of things. If he is real, then why do things happen? It's all up to you, It's all in your decision. No one really knows, but my belief is that. And that's just what it is. Just faithfulness, man. And my thing is just, I feel like it always comes back to him. There's I think it's called idolatry, idolatry, something like that. But it's just whenever you put so much importance into something, it's kind of like ignorance in a way. So whenever he's just not the foundation, or at least you just completely cast him out, you're probably gonna lose it, or you may not lose it, but I just feel like something will be missing. You see a lot of the things with athletes and stuff, they always give thanks and grace where things are due, and I think that honestly is just super humbling, man. It really is just whatever you pay attention to. This is why you just got to spread your happiness out. You put it all your eggs into one basket, you're gonna lose all of that. This is just like investments. You invest into one stock, okay, it may boom, but if it goes down, you're gonna start panicking. You're gonna sell it and lose everything. You gotta spread it out over so much things. Your happiness, have your family, your friends, your hobbies, your purpose, your love, your everything. People get caught up in so many things, and it's just hard to believe that's kind of like their mindset. And this was kind of the case with me. I was just working towards having this car, and you get lost. You really get lost. And so I think when it comes to a point, eventually you'll get burned out. Eventually something will happen. Eventually God will plant a seed, and understand this seed may take a years to develop, but there's gonna be, I feel like, a seed that's just gonna be planted, and this seed's gonna just start growing. We could call it like a tumor, but that's probably terrible. And eventually it's just gonna burst out. You're gonna trip over it, and that seed may just cause your life to just unfold. And that's just, the power of time, the power of compounding. Things don't just happen over like one thing. It's a combination. It's things that happen over time. You ignore like doing your oil change or rotating tires, or you just ignore one small thing. Over time, eventually the car is probably gonna break down. And I just feel like that's what kind of God does to us, and we do it to ourselves too. And a man, he's gonna have to, whenever he loses it or everything, he's gonna have to look towards him. And that's when he truly understands himself. That's when he truly finds who he is. You don't need to be alone. You don't need to be isolated to find God. You could be abundant. You have everything. And eventually that seed will sprout. And that man will eventually find that void and just see what's missing. And I talk about this because, man, I truly struggled with a lot of mental health issues, for real. But when I actually started to let go and just give it all away and just be free, everything just became so peaceful and so much clarity. Once I took a step back and realized I could just breathe and just look towards something much bigger than myself. I think about like what types of insecurities people have, or like what they may be struggling with, because no one's perfect, right? I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Everyone has some sort of insecurity. And it's just, maybe with the case with me, it's all in my head, and once I started to pray or look towards something much greater than myself, everything became so much more peaceful. And I think that's what we all got to do. There's a lot of things you can't control. And I'm gonna go back to this. Hey, stop caring. And that's not being ignorant. That's just stop putting so much energy into something that's just you don't have the ability over. Once I stopped truly caring, or stopped caring about an outcome, man, I just became much more free. The thing with solving my mental thing, health, was just time will go on. I could be feeling down, feeling like this for whatever. What's that gonna change? I can't just work it out because mental health is a lot different than physical health. I actually gotta learn, think, do a lot of breathing exercises, calm my nervous system down for real. And I think that's what it is. People make fun of mental, no, it truly is for real. I think it's a lot more strange, a lot more harder than, because bro, it's neurological. It's all in yourself. They don't know how you're thinking, they don't know how you're feeling. It's just something you gotta truly deal with. And so I had to learn a lot of calming and a lot of things. And this kind of we're gonna try to connect all this back to the God thing, right? Okay. And like with this, I didn't realize I had like a deep child core wound, for real. And I'm getting vulnerable here with y'all. So, and I don't care, you know, like what's gonna happen? Life is gonna go on, world's gonna keep spinning, rotating around the sun, you know. But I know I had like this deep child core wound in myself of just abandonment. And you know, I just feel like God will eventually test you and make you face your deepest, greatest fear in yourself. And you can either let it destroy you or let it build you. He wants you to become the man you need to be. You know, he didn't give me all this muscle, all this strength on the outside to just be so weak on the inside, right? He's just like, okay, you look good, okay. Hey, you look swole. But can you be strong on the inside? Can you be strong by yourself? Can you be strong doing things alone? Can you be strong in it? And he's like, I know your deepest, darkest wound that you don't even know of yet. I didn't even know of this. It wasn't being alone. It wasn't being isolated. It was just being abandoned, because this is just a child core wound. We all got this. We all have this, depending on your circumstances, you know. It may not be a child core wound, but usually that is a lot of case, because we all have messed up childhoods, right? A lot of us do, some more than others. And that is like a lot of trauma. And so how this all correlates back to the man has to find God. When you face that fear, whatever it may be, you're gonna have to look towards something much greater than yourself. This is why, like they say, like a lot of people say, the only thing I fear is God. And it's just like, yeah, it should be the only thing you fear. You know, he can be a jealous God. He can be like all these things, and it's not because he truly wants you to be scared of him. He just wants you to be humble, you know. And it's just like, you don't know when he's gonna test you, whenever he's gonna make you go against your deepest, greatest fear. So just don't be anxious about anything and just keep continuing to live your life. But whenever things do start to happen, don't panic. Don't be fearful. Just be like, okay, this is happening. Let it be, you know. And now, as I'm facing this, there's nothing else going on. The world is just still. Like, there's no other problems. Like, I don't have any health. I don't have any, like, everything is perfect around me. It's just me against me. And that's the thing. It's just like, if I wasn't facing this, what would I be facing right now? And it's just, we're always going through something, right? Now going through it, I could just be like, man, I'm so grateful. Grateful for everything that's happening. Thankful for everything that's happening. And I'm just like, this is terrible to say. Hey, keep bringing the suffering. Keep bringing the pain, because hey, I'm not freaky, but it's just because more growth is happening. He's not just wasting your pain. He's not just gonna bring you pain. He's not even bringing you pain. It's your own pain. And it's just, I have a growth mindset, of course. It looks like that. I'm not gonna let anything tear me down, of course. But some people do. It's just like, man, you can't. You only got this one life. Time is clapping. Time is just going. It was just the start of May, I promise. And I'm just like Drake said, bring all the problems. More money, more problems. And it's just, that's literally what it is. So after this, it's just like, what else am I gonna face, you know? There's nothing else that can be bigger than this, because this was the hardest, most damaging, most painful, you know? whatever the case may be. You gotta go take on life with, you gotta grab life by the cojones and just go, for real. You know? So that's what it is. Man has to find God, or God gonna find you. And it's either, you either start to build the relationship now, slowly but surely, or it's probably gonna come at a more devastating part of your life. You know, the power of compound, the power of time. Because you could be on top of everything and everything can just completely fall apart. Not because of one thing, but just because of just compound. Yeah, so if this had any impact, you know, you had some of your thoughts scrambling, or you're thinking more, because you're probably gonna forget. You're like, okay, hey, that really changed me right now, but yeah, hope y'all has impact for real. And probably gonna dash out some more. They're gonna be in the same setting right now, but y'all have a good one. Bless up. Man, it's so colorful. I don't even know what I said.